I mean, I asked my Max Pro to use another laptop. So that day he looked much more clear, like high definition camera. I don't believe it's the laptop camera that make a difference. I believe it is because using a computer which can process more information. So that's that. Okay, by the way, boss say something. Okay, I just checked so my OBS is recording correctly. So yay, let's welcome our new guest.
Yeah, actually, she is my friend. So last time I mentioned her is like a illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
So she want to start a like a side hustle like me. So
Okay.
I just show her to join this coaching session. It's very it can be very helpful. Oh,
Okay. So since we have new guests, then I'll just make a introduction here. So this session, sorry, how should I call you? Your microphone's not working.
You're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you.
She actually unmute, but
Oh,
they. Oh, okay. I heard something.
hello. Can
Yes.
you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, I'm May.
May. Okay. So what do you do? And just introduce yourself to the group.
I'm an art teacher that I help other people do it, but I'm also working on my own syllabus to sell.
Oh, interesting. So you teach people how to draw, how to paint.
Yeah, how to paint or how to
Hmm.
create some nice, beautiful artwork.
I see. So what is what who is the main people who you usually you teach?
It has a big gap on the age rate because I can teach until the 2 years old or maybe until 60 something. My oldest student is 78 years old.
78 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm 36. I can't even hold a pen correctly now. My hand is like numb. So I wonder how you teach old people how to draw.
They're quite interesting on their drawing. A very different way of teaching.
I see. All right. So how this meeting goes is usually everybody will bring some questions. So it's very normal when we have our freelancing career or our own business, we face some questions, and usually we don't know like who to ask. There's nobody to ask. You can't exactly ask your parents or siblings. They might not be the best person to answer you. So here is where we explore together because like me and Gerald, we did a few things ourselves in the past, but we are still pretty much in the learning process. But I'll let Gerald speak for himself.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome, May. Yeah, they told us about you, and so we're glad to have you. So, like Jay just mentioned, this is a group learning opportunity. We are all in a journey of Kaizen. I'm sure you know that Japanese word, continuous improvement and growth. So, yeah, different levels of growth, but we are in one journey. So feel welcome, learn what you need to learn, ask the kind of questions you have in mind, and let's keep moving.
Hmm. Okay. So maybe something with a camera. So we will just pass the mic around and see who have question. Just unmute yourself and ask the question. We'll see. Uh,
yeah,
Max.
I think yeah, actually I want to go first. Last week I mentioned I just told Jay I have something to share.
Mm-hmm.
After I hear I think it's a listen to the Think Like a Millionaire. So actually in the middle of the clips I think is secret number 6 or 5. It talks about um uh it's like my sorry I think I want to take a look at my notes. I
You
forgot.
got
I totally forgot it. Yeah, actually, I have a note. I need to write down what I remember. So yeah, it's things like previously I thought my clients or my prospect they are late, they didn't show up, or they suddenly change the time and the date.
mm-hmm.
And at the time, I feel very disappointed and then feel a little bit angry. But after I listen to the uh, to the to the training, after the training, the Lord says it's like it's not the prospect late or didn't show up. It's because I don't follow up properly. So I realized that's my problem. Because every time before I jump into an interview with a prospect, I always wait them about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and even half an hour. So I think, yeah, I never send a reminder. I never and I never make sure the time is on time. Yeah, basically it's a follow up with the reminder and the reminder. I don't do it very properly.
Hmm.
So I think that's my fault. And I don't think like a millionaire. It's like in my subconscious mind, I not really care about the project. So yeah, this is what I learned.
I see. That's I'll say I agree with that almost 100%. Um, when people don't show up, most of the time it's we haven't give them a reason to show up. Because if it's so damn important, unless it's like their house is on fire or something ridiculous like that, then chances are people are going to show up. So our it's our responsibility to make them know that hey, this meeting, you don't show up, you're lost. Frankly, we don't care. So it has to be two things. One is they want it more than you, and you want to talk with people who they have a serious problem. No pain, no sell. If they don't see a big reason to get this problem solved, or they want to make this thing happen, then they probably won't show up. So it's on us most of the time.
Yeah, and yeah, Max, that's actually true. Two things. The thought that goes in your mind is one of them, and then the follow-up. Actually, the third issue is the value you bring to the conversation. So during the setup, if you did not set it up as a do or die situation, they will not take it seriously. So again, that is your fault, right? Because you are the one projecting value to them. So if you don't project this program or whatever the meeting as a do and die situation, they won't value it. Two, the value you communicate. So if you communicate that the value is so much more than anything, because with time, as we know that nobody really plans for time except what we put the interest, right? So there are so many things we can do. So what we prioritize is what we value. So again, that means you are the one to bring in value. So if you do not bring value enough, they will out prioritize it. They will not in prioritize it. So again, you are the loser in that case. And then the third thing is probably unknown for most people. It's the thought that goes in your mind. So if you anticipate and hold the thought that this guy is not going to show up, or it looks like they will be late, you will project that thought in their mind and they will not show up. They will behave exactly the thought you've kept in your mind. Because now more evidence is coming about how we affect each other's minds. So be careful the thought you carry on in your mind about a particular meeting, about an outcome.
I think this is
That's
covered
why,
in Think
yes,
Like a
yes,
Millionaire.
go ahead.
It's the law of expectation.
Yes,
People
that's the law
tend
of expectation.
people tend to behave what you expect of them. So if you expect people are smart, I don't know what's the word. It's the polygamy whatever effect. Adam told me that I forgot. Maybe Max heard about it. So just have positive expectations. It doesn't cost you anything, so that's the good news. But yeah, okay. So that was a good sharing, and I'll just add something very funny this week. Victor Antonio, me and my client, we are in his membership inner circle, so we get to join and ask questions similar to session like this. So he thought his closing was no problem, okay, and he told me usually he closed 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. I'm too lazy to cross check his numbers. I'll just assume he's telling the truth. So during the session, Victor Antonio is a sales trainer. He trained people how to sell, how to close. He trained people how to communicate. So during that session, I asked them to have a role play. So okay, Victor was very kind. He agreed to a role play. So my client actually tried to close him. And even during the role play, Victor asked him like, "Ah, that's it. That's all the question you ask. Like this is like stuck. You're asking questions that are not very uh useful for the conversation. It's not deep enough." Then it's very funny. It turned around. Victor showed him how to sell computers. Then after that session, because we were both attending the session from my house on Zoom. So after the meeting ends, he rushed to me and like, "Oh my god, I don't know. We have to sell this way." I say, "This is," and he told me like, "Oh my god, the role play was so awesome. This guy is so good at closing." I'm like, "That's not really good. That's pretty normal." But that being said, I can see he's not really trying because you are here, he's here. He don't need to really try. He's like closing like this, like, oh, he almost like he don't care. And he told me that's good. I said, frankly, that's not really good. You should see what I call good. But now we know that this is all the mental preparation, all of this is very important. Now you guys are very lucky because you're not running a multi-million dollar business, and then you realize, oh my god, actually, the way I set the prospect, I follow up, I set the expectation is not very good. You get to practice in a very low stakes environment, so the pressure is not so high. Okay, so just appreciate that, and you get to know this. I think most of you are younger than me, so just be very thankful that you got to this awareness very early. So most of the time, if we when we take a lot of personal responsibility, you'll see your improvement, and you'll see the problems that you think. A lot of the problems I think that are problems 1 or 2 years ago, today they're not a problem. The problems are still there. It's just I don't see them a problem. I'm like, yeah, we can just solve it like that. It's not a problem. So every year just measure your growth. Like few weeks ago, we talked about setting the annual goals. So one of it, you just compare yourself with 1 or 2 years ago. You should be quite proud of yourself. Some of you before this, you have no clients, or your clients are very low price, very troublesome people, but now you get less of those, and that is what we call growth. And may we like you to have experienced that as well. Here are a few of them. They previously they have very troubling. They deal with very troubling people. Now less and less. So we like you to experience that as well. And 3 months from now, I'm not saying tomorrow all your problems will be gone. That's impossible. But 3 months from now, you'll see some nice improvement.
All right. So who is next? Anastasia.
Right now, I don't have any any question at the moment, but but the technical one is like um how to. I mean, sometimes the client asking for how to develop the email marketing strategy and how many should better do for them. You know, because I I don't have particular idea what's good for them. You know, that's the thing.
Also,
I mean,
you're
I have like
okay.
the feeling that I might suggesting wrong.
Okay. When you have that thing in your mind, then probably you're going to make some mistakes.
Yeah. They love expectation.
You have to remove these things from your mind. That's the first thing. Now, just to make sure I understand correctly, you are concerned that you can't give a very good marketing strategy to the
Yeah,
client.
because then usually they ask and, like, uh, how to develop their marketing strategy and help the email campaign and advising what's the good approach to their clients, something like that.
Okay. So I'll
So
just rephrase the
just
question
just
a bit.
like
I'll rephrase the question a
mm,
little so it applies to everybody. So how can I meet the client's expectation or exceed the client's expectation? So they ask for, let's say they ask for email, they ask for landing page. Now, why I use this example here because almost everybody here is involved with digital marketing. I'll try to make the question a bit more general so it applies to May as well. Um, so how can we meet and exceed the customer expectation. So sometimes the customer will approach you to say, we want email, we want landing page, or I want to learn how to draw elephant. I don't know, draw some scenery or draw a very beautiful building. So the question that the customer asks is not actually the question the customer, it's not actually the problem the customer want you to help them to solve. Okay. Now I'll send, just remind me to send a video of what coach and consultants are really selling. What are we really doing? Just remind me. I think that will be eye-opening for everybody. It's very, very eye-opening the first time when I watched Danlock go through that. And actually, I watched the video at least 3 times, the whole playlist, because I thought,
Basically,
yeah, I thought they come here,
yeah,
they want something, but actually they want something else.
yeah. Basically, they would just want to know if you are capable enough to handle that project. That's it.
Yep, that's most of the time that's what they say, but they can't ask you in that way. Else, everybody will just say yes, I'm capable. Can you do it? They'll just say yes. So they can't really ask it that way. So I don't fault them for it. So how can we communicate our expertise? For people who don't know how to ask that question. So that is something that I think everybody we have to learn. So is that the main concern that you have? How can we let other people know our expertise?
Oh yes, yeah,
Okay. So how are
yeah.
we?
Because that's usually that they ask that first. You know, like
So
they
this
want to know how and how can this gonna be making sales for them, something like that.
okay. So few ways you can do
So,
this.
basically, Jay, when you reconstruct the question, so my understanding is like, how can you design a winning marketing strategy for a client in order for them to win,
Mm,
whatever they call win in their context?
okay.
Yes.
So I'm not trolling, but I'll just ask you back. What is a good marketing strategy? How about you tell me?
The one that can give you a lot of sales.
Okay. Besides that?
Yeah, the one that can give you like a lot of return of
Okay.
investment.
Let's
You know,
let's
like
let's just say the strategy can generate a lot of sales, or you put $1 in, it can get you more than $1. Okay. So is there more than one way to do this?
yes, things so.
Yeah. So there are a lot of quote unquote good marketing strategies then, if that's the case. Okay. Now, second question. If today, give me a very famous company, any company. Yeah, give me a very famous company.
Apple.
Apple. Okay, Apple or McDonald's, even better. Now, today I can simply go to the website and type, let's say there's this thing, random marketing strategy generator. And the website will just simply come up with a marketing strategy and I give McDonald's. Will McDonald's make money?
Probably.
Probably,
Probably
correct?
yes, probably yeah.
Probably, correct? Now, how much is it actually about the strategy? Okay, now what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is, if you are working with the right client, your strategy sometimes don't matter that much. In some cases, don't matter. Your strategy just have to not suck. That's very easy. You go and take some training on digital marketing. You can already do that. I think everybody here already can do that. Digital marketing. If you've been to HIC, you've been through some copywriting courses. You probably already can do that. So now, the question you ask, actually, it's not the problem you have. The problem is, how can I let them know that this is a good marketing strategy? Probably all marketing strategies can work. How good they are, which is better? Are they better ones? Yes. But most of the time, it don't really matter. It's how you, and all strategy don't survive first contact. So once you start to get the work, all your plans and everything, you can throw them out. And this is coming from somebody who likes to plan about things. So yes, you can have a plan. You can share with them some case study what you did before, but just let them know, what worked in the past probably won't work in the future. Everything depends on our situation. So we can try this, and we need to know how to make changes. So you need to show them how you can recognize patterns, what are winning patterns. You have the competency to recognize if an email is working. How do you identify? It's quite simple. Just check the click-through rate. If it's an ad, just check the return on investment. If it's a landing page, just check the conversion. Yeah, um, that's everybody will ask for a good marketing strategy, but how many can actually tell the difference if it's good or bad? Very few can. So just if you work with good people, uh, that won't really be a very important question. That's my point of view.
So Anastasia, I see you still have some stars in your mind. Yes, what is your concern? What is the other question you're not asking?
Sure, that's, like,
Sorry?
it's like how to make them sure. It's like how to close after that,
But
how
before
to
even
close that.
closing them, do you understand their business? Because as the service provider, do you understand the business? Because if you're supposed to provide a solution, you must have a good understanding. Many times business owners do not understand certain major aspects of their business. We've dealt with Jay when we are consulting with a number of businesses. It will surprise you how some business owners are pretty ignorant about major aspects of their business, or they have very limited knowledge. So as a service provider, as an expert, how well do you understand their problems, their market, their ecosystem? So those are cardinal questions. Because personally, I believe if you understand the environment, then you can take one strategy and get a tactic, combine them two, and then give them guideline. It will probably work out if they are doing many of the things right, because it can be a very good strategy, a good tactic, but under wrong circumstances, it will flop. And that's why there are many moving parts that need to be all together. That's why it begins with understanding how well do you understand the ecosystem. So back to you.
Yeah. So if you can, okay. So the key thing here is don't try to rush the sale. If it's consultation or any arrangement like this, usually me and Gerald will meet them minimum 2 times. Most of the time, 3-4 meetings before we, maybe 3 meetings before we talk about money. We want to make sure we understand what we are dealing with, and we start to ask questions that a lot of the times these questions the business owner never thought before. Now here is a very interesting thing. From my observation, if you can ask people questions that they never considered before, and those questions are very important for them to get what they want, they start to trust you a lot. Because most people can't ask this type of question. So that helps a lot. And these questions are in the video which I'll share with everyone. It's a free video. It's a free video playlist on Danlock channel. So sometimes our job is to ask stupid questions. Because every business owner have blind spot. A lot of them in some cases. So what they think is important, most of the time is not that important. But the important things they never ask. So yeah. It's just like these sessions where we usually you guys ask us a question. Most of the time we'll question your question. So the same thing you do it for your prospects. But be a good listener. Be able to repeat their question, rephrase their question, ask the things that they never considered. You do that enough, people will assume you have the solution, even if you don't.
And that requires faith. So, and that requires faith and Anastasia. So you do not need to get, you always have the group, you can always fall back on the group, but it's very important that you're able to really understand them. And so be a really, really good listener. You remember, closing is done with the ears, right? Not my mouth. So if you don't listen to them, but if you don't understand their concerns, if you do not understand the business environment, so your strategy will flop because you do not know what you're really dealing with. Like you said yourself, different stages of the business. So it depends also on the market sophistication for this business, right? Your messaging will be different. The different things you do different. So it really starts by understanding where these fellows are and then giving the best shot of one of several messages. You remember, a message today, even for Coca-Cola, for big companies, it fails, right? Because marketing is so dynamic that one thing today may work, but tomorrow is a complete turn-off. So you need to, as you deal with the clients, you need to educate them to be able to appreciate that this may not be a magic bullet, right? That we have a series of options. We'll try this, and this is how we'll know whether it's working or not. And then we'll try this. So you set clear expectations. So you are not anxious to, oh, will I make it 50%? You know, you don't set yourself up for failure. So that's very important. Maybe Jay, you want to speak to that?
Yeah,
Mm.
what the best thing you can do for them and for yourself is to go in without the intention of selling. Okay, so once again, this is related to the client. I told him, I said, I don't even need to listen to your calls. I know this is how you have the calls. You have the laptops that you want to sell to them. Then you go into the conversation like, I'm just going to somehow convince you to buy what I have. Now, what you have might not be what they need. That's the problem. Half of the time, what we are good at is not what people need. They need something else. Okay? So the best thing we can do for them is actually be a good listener and just put the laptop down and just like, let me just listen and see what problems you really have. Let me ask from different directions. So we get clear on what you really are. Now, very few people can do this. I don't care if it's digital marketing. I don't care if you're teaching people art, teaching people public speaking. Very few people can actually sit down and like, actually, what have you tried in the past? You tried to learn this. You tried to solve this problem. What have you tried in the past? What worked? What didn't work? If you hold this and you keep asking about questions. Oh, how big the laptop you want? How heavy you want? How much space you want? These things people don't care. And I'm very happy to get validated by Victor Antonio. It's like, why are you asking this type of question? You should be asking like, why am I buying this in the first place? You don't even ask why am I buying this. It's like somebody say they want email. Oh, how many words you want the email? Why are you asking this type of question? This question is very
Surface level.
not helpful. Yeah, so just
Yeah.
go. The best thing you can do for both parties is you go in with an empty mind. Just go there like, I really want to understand you. We probably won't be doing business, but at least let me just have a good conversation with you. Now, I did that in the past. So what happened was I realized I get a lot of referral because people will remember conversations like this because you are so different. So I get a lot of referrals. Like, I mean, I don't do cold emails. I don't do active prospecting, but I have conversations with other people, like really try to understand them. Then like this year I keep getting referrals like, hey, I remember this Jay guy, he's doing something like digital marketing. You said you want some digital marketing. How about you speak with him? Then they come and ask me about Instagram. I'm like, actually, I don't do Instagram. But that being said, why do you want Instagram? Then we have 1 hour conversation. Sometimes 2 times 1 hour. Sometimes it's 2 hours straight. So that's how I do my prospect. I mean, that's what worked for me. And I'm confident that even if you don't do exactly what I do, you just add this into your prospecting process. It's less stressful. It takes less time. It's quite and it's quite enjoyable, to be honest, because you get to speak with people who actually need your help instead of you're trying there to sell them. You feel like a salesperson. It doesn't feel fun.
Yeah, and that adds to what Max had told. You remember his people not showing up for the calls. So if you come to give value, those kind of questions Jay is just talking about are value-laden questions because people don't get listened to. Their spouses don't listen to, their friends don't listen to, their children don't listen to. So if you're willing to listen to somebody, they will actually pay attention, right? So that means you are going to give value. And as you give value, the impression about the your impression in their minds really significantly goes up. And so that gives you the opportunity to add value. And even if you don't do business, no problem. You remember that is operating from the blue ocean strategy, right? So you are not attached, high intention, low attachment. You go and listen to them. If you can do business with them, if your skills on connections is enough to help them solve the problem, you go in. But if your skill and connections are not good enough, then you pass this, right? So that way you still maintain your head high, but importantly, the client will respect you and may refer another person who fits your skill set in the future. So that is probably how I would like you to operate.
And I'll just give an assignment for everybody. Just I mean, don't need to answer now, but just think when there was a time where you wanted to buy something or you have a problem to solve, and you approach the person. It can be a you have a your body's not feeling well. You speak with a doctor. It can be there's something wrong with your car. You bring it to the mechanic. It can be something wrong with your phone or computer. You bring it to a repair person. You tell them there's something wrong with this. I don't know what is wrong. Or I think something wrong with the screen. When I touch the screen, it doesn't work. So there will be two type of people, and you will know immediately. One, it's they repair the screen, so they will just say, oh, it's a screen problem. Let's just go and change your screen. The other type of person will actually take the time to go and check. Okay, let's see what is the problem. Is it because it's a virus? Is it because some program? Why is it this? Is it because there's no battery? Or is it sometimes you forgot to turn on the power? So I'm just giving examples. So let's say if it's you are visiting a doctor, you say my head here hurts. So the doctor immediately here when your head hurts, immediately tell you, oh, please eat paracetamol, please eat Panadol. I have a lot in my in my drawer. He immediately takes out and sell you. That kind of doctor versus a doctor say, yes, 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 your head hurts, but let me check. Is it your feet that result in the head? Is it because your eyes you can't see clearly? That's why you feel your head is pain. That happened to me. Is it because your liver, your lung? Is it because of heart? They supposed to check it and not just listen to you. Oh, your head hurts. Let me give you something for the head. So just think back in your life. When was the last time you did that? I'm pretty sure you have a good experience. So you want to be this person. So now, from now, when you're buying things, just have this extra awareness. Just see how people conduct this conversation. Is it when you say, I need A, they straight away take and tell you, oh, this is you ask for A, they give you A. Without asking you further question. You feel like almost the person doesn't care about you. They just want to quickly finish the sale so they can talk to the next person. Versus a person who will actually take the time to understand why do you ask why you need this thing. So just go and recall, this is a homework for everybody. Once you are able to do this, it changes the way you buy things, it changes the way you sell things, it changes the way you talk with people.
And like taking Mai as an example, because Mai, you drop pictures are very sensitive to people. People love pictures. It's something memory. Maybe they want to draw their grandson or their granddaughter or their mother, father, or the old house. So even when you want to have deals with people, engaging them to understand their why. Okay, why do why do they want this? So always start with the why, right? And then so obviously what goes without say, right? What do you want? But focus on why you want that. Okay. And then when why is very clear, the how becomes easy because the different hows, the different ways of solving the problem. So it's not the methodology or the tactics really, but understanding the why will lead to different options. So that's very important. So don't be this person who just gives paracetamol for every condition, but rather be the doctor who will examine, take his time, examine you, and may not even give you paracetamol. It could be something to maybe bed rest is what you need, right? So as independent professionals, this is the approach we should be using in dealing with our clients.
Actually, I'll be interested to ask, May, like you said you teach as young as 2 year old, and the eldest you teach is 78 years old. Okay, what type of art do you mainly teach them?
It depends because if we're teaching kids, then I will focus on motor skills. If I
Motor skills.
teaching like elder people, then I will teach them more about craft, especially what they wanted to learn, or maybe they can't do it or can't learn it when they are young, so they want to fulfill their dreams
I see.
in a different way.
Mhm. So, which group of people do you enjoy working with the most?
I can say mostly all because I can learn from the kids. Can be motivated by the teenagers, and I can like understand. But when I'm teaching with the old students, they will like share their experience with me, so I also appreciate them.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like all.
Okay, then let me increase the intensity. Let's say you were to do this 16 hours a day. You're going to teach 16 hours a day. Who would you rather teach? Which group of people would you rather
Mm,
teach?
mostly teenagers above.
Okay, so you can see now the age group start to narrow. Now, what am I doing? When you try to say yes to everybody, it's very hard for people to remember you. So let's say if today you are, let's just take me for example. If I tell people everything about digital marketing I do, there's so many people like that. But if I say, hey, I just do Google Ads. Actually, I do a lot of things, but I just tell them, actually, I just do Google Ads. You're not doing Google Ads, I'm probably not the best person to speak with. Then they can remember specifically. Because probably in this world, if we are too general, it's very hard for people to really remember us. Okay, so this is what we call the personal branding. We want to be speaking to a more specific group of people. And drawing is also very, there are many types of drawing. What type of drawing do you usually help people to learn? Like, which do you think it's more effective, or which do you enjoy more? Drawing scenery, or drawing people, or drawing, like, I don't know what are
Mostly
the things. Yeah.
scenery.
Okay, scenery. Okay, now you further narrow it. Now let's say, now I'm not asking you to do this, but just consider this. If you have a Instagram page or YouTube page that shows people drawing scenery, and it's all a certain age group. Maybe it's all guys, 35 to 45, all women 35 to 45 within that age group. You will be able to attract more people who you enjoy working with, and they are willing to pay more for you because they feel you really understand them. So the work you do can be 100% the same, but just by saying you are specialized in something, okay, you get to people appreciate you more, people remember you more, and automatically people will pay you more. Initially, I don't believe that. I thought, what do you mean just talk about? Back then, I was doing Facebook ads. What do you mean just talk about Facebook ads? I can do email, I can do landing page, I can do website, I can do this, I can do that. But when I say I do so many things, people are like, can you repeat your list again? Then I know something was wrong. So then I changed the way I introduce myself, right? But nowadays, I don't even talk a lot about Google Ads. No, nowadays, I talk about, hey, I'm just here to help business owners. You have to do at least 1 million. I help you to solve your marketing problems. No, that is me nowadays. I operate quite differently. But I hope that give you some ideas on how you want to change, how you introduce yourself. Just find like who are the people that you really, really. I mean, you don't need to answer now. Find out people that you really, really want to spend time with. Okay, and what are transformation are you going to bring to them? So it can be, let's say, 2 months or 3 months from they don't know how to draw any scenery to be able to paint the scenery that they have in their mind. Okay, when you're able to show people this is what I specialize in, uh, you'll find it's much easier to get more projects.
So my basically, what Jay is saying is the number of principles, but this is the first time we're meeting. The key word is less is more. which means you told us from 2 years old to my grandmother. That's way too big. So nobody knows you, right? We want people to associate with you so that you can say, I coach 60-year-old, I coach working women, which would be like from 25 to 35. I coach retired people, that would be 65 to 80, right? So you need to look through the different people you serve and cut a group that will give you satisfaction. If you close your eye, you can dream about them, right? So it's something where you have an emotional connection too. So once you get that group and say, I could spend my whole life, and it doesn't look like it's a job, right? So that is the kind of group you want to settle with. And once you settle there, choose the kind of transformation you want to take. Is it transforming them, giving them from zero ability to being able to draw a very nice scenery? Is it canvas? Is it crayon? Whatever. You see, all those things. You're the technical part. So just get something within your area that you're super good and that you know you can produce results, because people really don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. And so you need to be able to say, within my skill sets, what is it that I can really, really do so that I can transform people and take them from stage A to stage B? And it's best to have a small group of people to focus on. So those would be our recommendations, so that you can actually begin to live off these skills you have.
And I don't think people. It's very funny. I don't think people are learning what people really are buying from you. What they really want from you is probably not related to drawing. I think people are pursuing. I might be wrong. I'm just guessing. They probably want to learn a way to express themselves with art.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
it might be they want to find a way to reduce the stress that they have, because when they express themselves in their art form, they find more satisfaction, they reduce the stress. So you have to find out this. Sometimes it's through
Mhm.
observation, sometimes it's through asking questions with people that you work with. Once you are able to talk about not the drawing, once you're able to talk about, uh, higher levels of satisfaction,
Mhm.
you can do exactly the same thing what you're doing now. You'll be talking to people who are going to just value you much more, much more.
And building on that, Jay has brought something important. And the reason why we want you to choose a small group is people do drawing for different reasons. And within the medical fraternity, a lot of like people who have severe psychosocial challenges use drawing as an opportunity to like release the gas, like the tension they have. So people who are very even suicidal, they can draw out the anger out, right? Maybe somebody has messed you so bad. Instead of punching them, some people can draw something and that negative emotion will get out. So you need to find out why these people are seeking out. Like this 70-year-old woman, what is she? What is her why? That's why we say it's important. Find the group you want to serve and understand their why. And then you will know what is the benefit of the benefit. So you are showing them how to draw, but what is this benefit? What will it do to them? That is actually what they want from you. So the drawing is just a medium, but the hidden reason is a deeper fulfillment they are going to be getting. So you need to go to a higher level to be able to answer. So once you know that this is why they're doing this, then you can help each person at a much deeper level, and they will be very willing to pay you good money to solve that problem.
Yeah, so if you feel it, you'll be very, very weird. Like, why this is not related to drawing at all? Why are we talking about the feelings people get by learning how to draw? Because most of the time, almost most of the time, if not all the time, people don't buy things. People buy what the
Emotion.
thing, what the thing make them feel. People buy emotions. People buy experiences. So that's a very different level of uh, adding value to other people's life. Does that change the way you see what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you love it. I'm sure you love it. Art is good. I love art. So I know what art can do. So you probably could be a therapist. You're actually a therapist. The way I see, you are a therapist through drawing.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, from the way she speaks, it's
Mm.
if you study Danlock's gem theory of DISC, Danlock, she's a majority is a pearl.
Mm.
Okay, you can actually hear it in the way she speak.
Yeah.
DISC is what? DIS.
That's the one of the disc personality, the one of Maya Briggs.
I know it's green. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, I know it's green.
Yeah.
So she will be very good at helping people do therapy for themselves. So
Hmm.
through art, it can be a therapy, like how
Yeah.
to express themselves. And if it's very weird because if you sell art lessons, there's a market rate, correct?
Yeah.
There's a market rate if you sell art lessons. But if you help people to use art as a therapy, as to release stress, you're not following the market rate. It's gonna there might be a market rate, but it's gonna be very, very high. Sometimes 10 times, 100 times what the art market rate is. And if that actually give you a lot of enjoyment, once you're able to do this, it allows you to don't work a lot, but it helps you to get paid a lot. So you really work with those people who you really, really, really enjoy helping. Okay, so this will take some time. Think we will probably need to send you some videos so you can start to see what you do in a very different way. We're not saying you change what you do. You can probably keep it because most of the time that is not the problem. It's just like business owners, they ask us how to increase the sales. It's probably nothing wrong with your production or whatever. It's probably how you how you introduce your product to the strangers. That part probably needs a lot of work. So it's true for everybody. It's actually true for me and Gerald as well. How we introduce ourselves can always be improved.
Yep. I'll just put something here for you.
Okay, so I'll just cycle around and see. Bob, do you have any questions or feedback for us this week?
Yeah, there's
Right.
a quick thing just
Yeah.
before both says. There's a quick research I just pulled up. That's for you. One in 2011, they conducted a group painting therapy on patients with depression for 3 months, and they found that it promoted social functioning, recovery, social adaptability, and quality of life. So that is the potential you can actually have on people. And you can charge serious stuff, and your financials can really go up if you're able to focus and become really good in that area. So that's the potential you have. Okay, go for it.
Okay. Like my question is like, yeah, I'll try to keep it as compact as possible. So right now I have two clients, in another agency.
Mm-hmm.
One is a higher value client, another one is a lower value client.
Okay.
And in hindsight, I should focus on like the high value client, right? I should focus on like providing the best service for the best client I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I did the opposite. I did I focused a lot on the low value client, and then sort of like ignored the high value client, right? So there's several reasons behind this. So one that I can notice is that the low value client is like more assertive, right? He's willing to ask for more, and then he's willing to like ask for something in a short period of time. Okay, so that's why I sort of like tend towards him. And the second problem is that when I was dealing with the high value client, we didn't agree on a clear deliverables. So
Okay.
basically, what our deliverable, what we agreed on is a little bit vague. It's like email consultation, right? Because the client wants to write emails on her own.
Okay.
So as you can see, like email consultation can be a very vague because like how much should I do every month? It's not clear at all. So yeah, this is yeah. So that's why when I try to like focus on the high value client, I feel a little bit paralyzed because I'm not sure like what to do or yeah, what's the best way to help her or something like that, and
Okay. So two things.
a little bit tricky.
One is this is just additional proof that low ticket clients usually are the worst people that you want to work with. They require the most work. They tend to be basically client from help. Okay, so it's very counterintuitive. Sometimes actually not sometimes, most of the time, people who pay you a lot actually don't need a lot of your work, don't need a lot of your time. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is now you don't know how to charge for email consultation. But when the high ticket client approach you, like what is the original agreement? Why did they approach you in the first place?
Right, so it's like it's through a referral. It's like in the agency itself, this is already their client.
Mm,
So email marketing is an additional add-on to the service they are providing, which is Facebook ads,
okay.
right? So it's like Facebook ads plus new email marketing service for them.
Okay.
So, and then they will, I mean, the client was already doing email marketing herself, and
Mm,
she has a small team,
mm,
but right now she just needs more guidance, like
okay.
what are the strategy, what are a better strategy to move forward, like what to set up or stuff like that. She can like do individual emails very well,
Okay.
but then she just needs like how to piece them all together, something like that.
Okay. Is this the
So
English coach?
no, not English coach. It's
Okay.
a dog training coach. Yeah.
Okay, dog training. Okay. So a few things here. If what they really need is just a consultation, we can talk about that. But I'm not sure if that's the only thing they need. So I'll put a few concepts here. One, it's over deliver. Now I know they don't request a lot of stuff from you, but it's good to always over deliver. So, for example, if you really just have consultation with them, you can say now, I'm happy to look at your emails once a week. We don't need to meet every day. There's nothing to see every day. So maybe once a week or once a month, whichever uh, you agree to. So this is part of setting expectations. You have a call with them, see what works. Ask how many emails are they sending. If it's not one a day, then you should let them know. You probably want to send at least one a day or whatever frequency that you recommend. Okay, so uh, just tell them that it can be a weekly arrangement. We'll meet every week this time. That being said, if you have any emergency or you want anything ad hoc, we can have one or two ad hoc sessions a month. If it requires more than that, then it'll be a extra rate. So you'll be charging them a retainer plus anything ad hoc. So this is for pure consultation model. I find this to work. Okay. That being said, if you are doing pure consultation, sometimes it is good for you to do some emails for them, because if you see one of the emails that they write is not so okay, or they don't know how to write a whole campaign, they are good at individual, not at a good, you can show them now. This is how you write an email campaign, and I can do one with you. You can just because sometimes when you give consultation, people don't really see it. Okay, so you need to show them. So it's like I do one campaign with you, then like you see how this goes. If you want me more done for you, we can renegotiate the rates. But this is I just want to make sure you get good results. So I'm doing this. So for the first time, it's going to be done with you plus done for you. Then after that, you can just reset the expectations again. So that's how I'll approach it.
Right. So the first step is like helping them like with the groundwork, and then later on they can like
First step
move
is
on.
really understand what they really need, why they really approach you in the first place. That's number one.
Oh, Okay, right.
Yeah,
So
my suggestion would be to get back. I think because if you're not clear as a service provider, you can take them in the wrong direction enthusiastically. You see, you could easily mislead your client, and that's not good, right? So get back to this client, reschedule a meeting with them, and just talk again where they are right now. Maybe many things have changed in their mind and stuff like that. So get a meeting, re-understand them, re-evaluate them, work together, understand at least their mind in the next Q2, Q3. Where do they want to go? Because consultation model is good, but you need to kind of understand where the client wants to go so that they can see the value you could bring them. And also yourself, you can then see, okay, knowing that this guy wants to go this direction, what would be the best options from my expertise, right, to bring value to his place. So again, you have to go back and then re-strategize through clearer understanding.
right. So the strategy itself should provide. It's not like vague strategy. Do this or do that. It's like help them to imagine like what would the results be, right? Is that what you mean?
But it has to be from where do they want to go?
Right.
Because why do they come to you? Yes, they want to know, they want to help to arrive, they want to go to KL, right? There's a particular way you can go to KL. So you need to understand when they want to go, how they want to go. Then you can say, okay, this may also be another way to go. Why don't we try it? So then you'll have different ways of going there after realizing where they want to go. Right now, you seem not to know where they want to go.
I'll use
Yes.
the analogy, an example that you will get 100%. Imagine you are a gym trainer. So what is the first thing the gym trainer needs to do with the client?
Like ask them if they want to lose weight or like bulk up. Like
What's your goal? Where you want to go? How fast? That's the first thing. Then once you know that, you will come up with a meal plan or exercise plan with them. Then what you do is you hold them accountable, make sure they implement it, and you see them do the work. Not you leave the thing for them. You when they leave, you see, okay, don't leave it this way. Your hands not balanced. Bend your knees. Make sure you correct them on the techniques. So you are the gym trainer. Okay, now unlike the gym trainer, you can actually write emails for them, but that would be a separate charge. But that's probably not the main thing. Now you can write a few emails a month if it doesn't take up too much of your time, but just make it very clear. So the first thing, you just imagine yourself as a gym trainer, go understand what they really want. Okay, like ask them like why do you want to have these muscles in 3 months? Why is this important? How does this ties in with your business? Okay, sometimes it might not. Like they just say, oh, I see everybody having emails, so I want some emails. Then that's not what you want to spend a lot of time on. Okay, so just have this conversation, set some expectations, let us know how it goes.
okay, sure. Yeah, because we're going to have a meeting like in a few days, so yeah.
Okay.
Understanding is key. So we are spot on.
So it's exactly 10 o'clock. It's a good time to end this. So just remind me to send the Denlock training. It's free. It's on this YouTube channel. I just need to go and find the playlist. Then yeah, I think everybody can benefit from this. So the homework for this week is just to watch it at least twice. The next week I'm sure everybody will have questions next week. All right, so I think that's all for today.
Right. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, General. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Andrew.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.